G'day folks. Well, I took it to the track yesterday. I burnt around, I reckon it was over 50 litres because I've put 50 back in it and still not full. So we did the laps yesterday. God, she went well. Oh, she bloody went beautiful. The first, I've got footage of this too, guys, so I will put it up a day or two following this video. So I am a little bit slow at the moment uploading things, but been busy, but I have got some footage and I'll see if I can manage to put a little clip up or two. Anyways, I went out the first lap. They call it observation laps. It was just a bit of a test around the track for, I don't know, 8 or 10 laps, whatever. And I noticed it was still a bit fuely on the tip in, and even on boost there it sort of got a bit fuel. It was too fuely. It seems to tolerate around, on lambda, around 0.712, anything under that, and it starts to complain a bit. But that's fairly rich anyway, even 7.2, and I'm sort of targeting high 7s, so 7.7, 7.8, even 8 with this low boost. But anyway, I went out and I did sort of like 10 laps, and I thought, oh, I'll give it a run on a race and just see how it went. Anyway, it was too fuely, and I thought, you know, if I can get some heat into it, maybe it might improve, but it did a little bit, but it didn't really help it. Anyway, I came back and I thought, bugger it, I'll pull some jetting out of it. And I pulled 2 sizes, front and rear. We've got a 2 jet size different right to left. So on the right side, we're 2 sizes bigger. And you know what, guys? It made a hell of a difference. I think now to get it perfect, or to get it close enough, I think possibly another 2 sizes on the left side and maybe 1 on the right side. And I'd like to see sort of how that equates. But I'm going to review the footage and I'll get a little bit of an idea from before I pulled the jetting out and get some data back on that and compare the later when I did make a change. And I'll gauge off that. But it made a good change, and the difference now coming out of the corners is unbelievable. Out of the hairpin, you put the hammer down, and it just hooks into it. It's amazing. That's never done that ever. Period. Even with the gas carb set up on it, it's always a little bit fluttery. And I know that if I pull a bit more fuel out of it, it'll clean it up even better. Oh, it's awesome. It really is awesome. On the last race, believe it or not, I just sort of thought I'll go a little bit harder and just sort of ride with it and enjoy the run around. It felt so comfortable, hardly really getting into it too hard, but felt very comfortable behind the wheel. My brakes were going off. That's one thing I've got to do. It's just annoying the hell out of me now. I do a couple of races and I've lost pedal. I'm relying on the fronts only, and the back, really, if I'm going to take them back down again with the rear brakes the way it is, I have to adjust them up every couple of races, just jack it up and just adjust the back ones with a little screwdriver. Because as soon as you lose a bit of clearance on the shoes against the drum, you just lose pedal. So, but that's all good. I can address that. That's not a problem. I know the issue there. But yes, I knocked off nearly about 4/10 off the time that I did before, which was a minute 4. And I only just cracked a minute 4 when I first did it, and now I know it doesn't mean much, guys, on the time scale around that track, but it means that I'm back where I was, but I was doing it so much easier. I was still checking gauges, and there was actually an oil down at the start of the day. One bloke in a little Tirana, it's a beautiful little car, a little plum purple machine, and she popped a line off his oil cooler, and I just put oil down everywhere around the sweeper. So I was very mindful still of that, and so to do that, to match sort of, and slightly do a better time on that setting, still a bit, it wasn't perfect. That's unbelievable. Guys, I know damn well now I'll crack the minute mark with some good brakes on the rear, some discs, so I've got 100% confidence in them, and just clean that carb up a little bit. I can do it with that gearing that I've got now. It's without a doubt. I know I can. I can just come out of the corners, hammer down, and just hook straight into it. It's just amazing. And the power now, guys, on 7 pound, I've never experienced that before. We're in new territory now for me, especially like E85, no intercooler, and getting the tune really close. It's just crazy. It just pulls so strong right through, there's no complaints whatsoever. And I'll give you a little tip, guys. Not a tip, but I'll let you know that I haven't re-torqued the heads when I did the gasket. So yes, we did go, I think it was 80 foot-pound, but it's not re-torqued. So that goes to show you guys that if your tune's right to a certain level, in boost I mean, they're not that hard on head gaskets. Just prove that. I mean, I will torque it back down again once I pull the headers out and redo, I'm going to do my O2 bungs. I'm still keen to do that, and I want to sort of get an overall reading on all my cylinders and make sure the distribution is it's where it's at. Even now on number 3, that's the one I read from. So it's very, very close actually with the 2 jet change. I mean, we're only talking 0.3 or 4 difference under boost. So to me, that's not bad. I don't know once I go up in boost how it'll change, but for now, I'm very happy the way it is. And guys, to be honest, for now, there's enough power to, like I said, to get myself under the 60-second mark. So power's not the issue, I'm finding out now. Oh dear. Check this out, guys. Now, I had a couple of complaints when I was down there, smoke coming out of it. And just for a bloody moment, I didn't know what was going on, but it was coming out the side here, and I thought, I didn't realise actually that the Vacupan is so friggin' good. Well, I knew it's good because it's taken up all my oil leaks pretty much in the engine, but look at this. It sucks that hard, guys. It's just blowing smoke out the side of the bloody... And it's really nervy for everyone because they think something's wrong with it. And I told them, the blokes up there, I said, it's just my Vacupan, it's working overtime. It's pulling that hard. It's starting to pull out little bits of traces of oil. And as soon as it hits the pipe, she, burns completely. But wow, that's awesome, that Vacupan. So it's worth looking into, guys. Seriously, it's incredible. It's unbelievable. Well, I've got a little bit of news I want to share with you guys. I've been thinking about it. Well, the thing is, that little Hilux of my son's, we've sort of pulled the pin on that because it just when the boy's not into it. He's got back into street cars now, and so he's heading down that road. And we sort of gave up on the Hilux, which in one way was a shame, but look, there's always a blessing in disguise. Well, I've got I've got an old HX Ute. I've had that, goodness me, I reckon I've had it 25 plus years. I used it for a lot of years as a work bus too. Maybe 10 years, 8-10 years as a work bus, and on and off the road several times. Well, it's been idle for the last 5-6 years, and I thought, I'm getting on a bit, guys. I'm starting to get into my 50s now. I'm 51, heading to 52 this year, and I thought I would love just a nice little clean little street car just to cruise around in and just something to enjoy of a weekend. Well, I'm going to bring it down out of I've got another shed. I'm going to bring it down, and it's got no engine or box in it. It's just a roller, and I'm going to bring it down, and I'm going to slowly sort of develop it over time. But I'll talk about it more when I do bring it down. But it's just something I want to bring into the channel too, guys, an extra project. It's going to be a real budget one, this one, because this has soaked up a lot of money over the years, and I sort of don't have that money to throw around to build up. But saying that, I'm surprised on how much extra stuff I've got to build it up. I'm actually keeping it 253 because I've got spare engine. I've got spare everything. So transmissions, the whole works. So I can sort of get it on the road fairly cheap and bring it back to its former glory, which I'm really excited about. So yes, I'll talk more once I bring it down too, guys. So yeah, exciting news. Well, there you go, guys. I'm so thrilled with this little beast. She's just performed so well. It handles unbelievable. That wing, I really feel that once I'm up around 200 kilometres an hour, it's unbelievable around the sweeper. You can just feel it settles the back end of that car. It doesn't want to move around at high speed. I don't even have to pick a line going around there at the moment at the speed that I'm doing. I suppose if I get up around 220, 30, 40 onwards, yes, you'll have to sort of take a line. But goodness me, just the aero on this thing now is just, it's insane. It really is. And I'm really, just a note before I go, how good the brakes are really for what I've got. They're 330mm rotors at the front, only a 2-spot caliper, and we're running just basically vented rear drums on it. I mean, they really pull up well, but they just don't last. You've got to always continually adjust them, and it's a shame that, but we'll get some really good discs on the back of it, some really solid ones, because the car's so well balanced now. I do need a fair bit of back brake to pull it up. All right, folks. Well, I've had a fantastic day down there. I met a few new people, and they're excellent. They really are. There was a few that sort of lucked out for the day, but that's part of it. I've had my fair share of bad luck, and yesterday was an absolute win. This little beast sounded... I heard some people come back to me and they said, Griff, this thing sounds unbelievable. So I'll try and get some outside footage of it on when it's on song, this thing. It does. It sounds incredible inside the cab. All right, folks. I'll pop some other vids up on that in the next day or two, and we'll keep chipping along with it. All right, folks. Catch you later.